Well, a very good morning to you, Simpia, and of course to our viewers. We're currently in Sebokeng in Zone 7. It actually falls under the Emfuleni municipality, of which you know is really embattled. It has been placed under administration in 2018, and the people of this area have been complaining about a poor lack of service delivery, about a sewage that spills over, about the lack of water, and also lawlessness. I mean, just before crossing to you, there was an incident of mob justice just down the road from where we are right now. But Simpia, just moving to the issues of today, Chief Activist of the One South Africa movement, Mr. Mmusi Maimane, will be unveiling, a number of independent candidates. If you'll remember, earlier on in May this year, he had said that he would be revealing a cohort of independent candidates that will be campaigning for this year's local government elections. And of course, they fall under the New Horizon movement, which is an independent-led organization that is registered under Section 15A of the Electoral Act, which actually stipulates that, this is a mechanism that allows for the registration of an organization or movement to actually participate in the local government elections without being registered or being affiliated to a traditional party. And one of these candidates that we'll be speaking to is Mr. Ernest Kopane. Of course, he'll tell us which wards he'll be contesting in. Mr. Ernest, what prompted you to actually, contest as an independent candidate under these local government elections?
Yes, Natasha. The main reason that prompted me to be an independent candidate, one, is for me as a citizen to stand up and do things happen for ourselves. Secondly is the fact that the politicians in general, since 1994 to date, they've proven failure, not only in Sedibeng, all over the country. The third thing that is so much like now we have to accept the abnormality and make it normal is corruption. Corruption that is looted and hidden under your BEE, your tender system and all these kind of things. So basically we are saying we are tired and it's time for us as independent citizens, regardless of your political parties, regardless of your affiliations, to stand up and take action for the future generation.
Ernest, you're one of 911 independent candidates that have registered to the IEC under the candidate nomination system. They've told us about those numbers last week. What are your chances? What do you think your chances are? Do you think that the community of Emfuleni, specifically your ward, will actually elect you?
Yes, my chances in Ward 34, Zone 11 and Zone 12, the chances are, I don't mean to brag, but I believe that I'm already a winner. Simply because, one, the friction that is happening in terms of the procedure the opposition parties are applying, it's so much, in tumbles. So the best thing that we can do is to rely on people who are clean, people who are reliable, people who are ethical, who have proven to have a good relationship with the community. So only with those few, I believe that candidates, community members who are really would like to see change, then can make an informed decision by voting for independent candidates so that we do away of failing politicians.
I'm asking this question because, we were just engaging with political analysts yesterday, and he was just basically saying that the notion of independent candidates is something new to South Africans. South Africans are used to the old traditional political party system and not independent candidates.
Yeah, there's always a way of introducing new things. Even Corona, it's new, but we're trying to adapt to it. So the issue of independent candidates, if one can just use their minds nicely, is to make sure that we elect those ethical and moral individuals who can lead their communities. So in that, I do believe it will just gel nicely, and each one who knows the suffering, who knows the struggle. It's like we've been subjected to the second apartheid under a black government. So everyone who is tired about that should consider taking an alternative, a non-political alternative for that matter.
You consider yourself as an alternative. What change will you bring about toward 34? Is it 34 or 37?
34.
34. And also, we are just in front of a sewage system here. There's litter all over. There's lack of, service delivery in the area. How will you change those wards in your area?
First thing, as citizens and as a ward, we have to work together. Remember, in this instance, the mandate wouldn't come from the speaker, wouldn't come from any political party. It will come from the citizens. It will come from communities that I'm going to lead. Therefore, whatever that we are agreeing on based on how we can better our community, that's the way to go. The municipality, if they win, of which I doubt, they will find us kopili, really busy, implement that into they are ward-based. There's so many endeavors, there's so many projects that are in place, there's so many things that we have as a ward and myself as an independent. There's so many of them that I'm confident to say that they're going to bring about change, that it is long overdue pre-democracy.
Tell us more about the New Horizon movement. I understand it's a conglomerate of independent candidates. How many candidates do you have, and are you only going to be contesting in Emfuleni? Earlier on, we spoke to Mmusi Maimane earlier on this year, and he had said that his independent candidates would be contesting in 10 municipalities, including Emfuleni, including those in Limpopo and KZN. So, I mean, just tell us more about this organization.
Yes, Natasha, like I've said, here it's a combination of all non-political movements, all independents who have come together as citizens to make sure that this elephant that is in the room, we're getting away with it. We're making sure that it is no more, so that Celis Divari can prevail. Yes.
Well, I understand you're going to be campaigning, so of course we will be following you throughout the course of the day. Of course, thank you so much for your time and speaking to us. Well, Simphiwe and the viewers, there you have it from Mr. Ernest Mokopane. He's amongst 911 independent candidates that have registered with the IEC so far to actually contest in this year's local government elections, which are just basically a couple of weeks away. Simphiwe, we've heard Ernest there saying that he's contesting in Ward 34 in this fully in local municipality, and of course he is confident of a win as an independent candidate, and he hopes to bring about change in a community which is riddled, with the lack of service delivery, saying that government has neglected them for too long, and hopefully this time around Ward 34 residents in Sebokeng Zone 7 will have a new candidate in the form of Ernest. With that said, it's back to you in studio.
Just a quick one, Natasha, before I let you go. Has Mmusi Maimane revealed a plan in terms of how the One South Africa movement, of which he's in charge of, will be working with these independent candidates? I mean, how does One South Africa movement feature then in the whole operation?
Well, Simphiwe, he's currently on stage right now, but I mean, we've been attending Mmusi Maimane's briefings quite regularly, and he had said that although he won't be standing for this year's elections, he'll be standing in 2024, but One SA's role will be training these independent candidates, will be equipping them with skills. So this is how, One South African movement actually gets their mix in the fold. Of course, they'll be providing training to these independent candidates and empowering them, forming a conglomerate of independent candidates that will actually contest in this year's local government elections.
All right, Natasha, thank you so much. I'm going to let you go. Thanks indeed for your time. That was our reporter, Natasha Phiri, speaking to us live from Sebokeng, wherein the leader of the One South Africa movement, Mmusi Maimane, has unveiled a plan of how he will be working with the independent candidates that will be taking part in this year's upcoming local government elections. This is the agenda on SABC News. Let's take a coffee break. We'll be back shortly.